In Philadelphia, Senator Obama made a very powerful speech in terms of our need as a nation to address the whole issue of race. That's something good that's already starting, that because of you guys playing these sound bites, now what's getting ready to happen is something very positive and something very powerful, that God can take what you meant to try to hurt somebody to help a nation come to grips with truth, to help a nation come to grips with miseducation, to help a nation come to grips with things we don't like to talk about, to help a nation.
You know, you mentioned Senator Obama. In the 20 years since you've been his pastor, have you ever heard him repeat any of your controversial statements as his opinion?
No, absolutely not. I don't talk to him about politics. And so here at a political event, he goes out as a politician and says what he has to say as a politician. I continue to be a pastor who speaks to the people of God about the things of God. He did not disown me because I'm a pastor.
But even some of your admirers say it would be wrong to gloss over what Martin Marty himself called, who loves you, called your abrasive edges. For example, you know, Louis Farrakhan lives in the south part of Chicago, doesn't he? You've had a long, complicated relationship with him, right?
Yeah.
And he's expressed racist and anti-Semitic remarks, and yet last year, 20 years ago, but that's indefensible.
The Nation of Islam and Mr. Farrakhan have more African-American men off of drugs, more African-American men respecting themselves, more African-American men working for a living, not gang-banging, not trying to get by. That's not indefensible in terms of how you make a difference in the prisons, turning people's lives around, giving people hope, getting people off drugs. We don't believe the same things in terms of our specific faith. He's Muslim, I'm Christian. We don't believe the same things that he said years ago, but that has nothing to do with what he has done in terms of helping people change their lives for the better. I said, direct quote was what? Louis Farrakhan is like E.F. Hutton. When Louis Farrakhan speaks, Black America listens. They may not agree with him, but they're listening.
What does it say to you that millions of Americans, according to polls, think Barack Obama is a Muslim?
It says to me that corporate media and miseducation or misinformation or disinformation, I think we started calling it during the Nixon years, still reigns supreme. 30-some% of Americans still think they're weapons of mass destruction. That you tell a lie long enough that people start believing it. What does the media do? Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. It sounds like Osama Obama. That kind of fear-mongering based on ignorance. So that's why many people still think he's a Muslim. He went to a madrasa. What's a madrasa? I don't know, but I know it's one of them Muslim schools to teach terrorism. That kind of I don't want to think, just tell me what to think mentality is why so many Americans still think that.
Our denomination, the United Church of Christ, has called for a sacred conversation on race in America. What are the steps that you think, from all of your experience, could be taken to move race relations forward?
I think there are many. To start using Bill Jones's paradigm, that how one sees God, your theology, determines one's anthropology, and how you see humans determines your sociology, to look at how we've come to see race and others of other races based on our understanding of God, who sees others as less than important, less than my people. And where in our religious traditions are there passages in our sacred scriptures that are racist? They're in the Vedas, they're in the Babylonian Talmud, they're in the Quran, they're in the Bible. How do we grapple with these passages in our sacred texts? The same way you grapple with Judges 19, where it's all right for a preacher to have a concubine and cut her up into 12 pieces. We got to argue with our texts that are, as we've been struggling with, battling with, wrestling with, anti-Semitic. The Christians, the Jews killed Jesus. We got to come to grips with, these texts were written by certain people at certain times with certain racist understandings of others who are different. That different meant deficient. That doing that with adults, but starting with kids. That begins the conversation that Senator Obama talked about that we need to have, and rewriting the curriculum in our schools to tell the truth in our schools.
Jeremiah Wright, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you for having me, Bill. Thank you, sir.